Hello everyone, this is Sakshi from Doubt Horizon. We'll be interviewing Ayushman today, who recently got placed into a core company, L&T Technological Services. So we will be knowing his nicks and knacks for his massive success. So firstly, welcome Ayushman and congratulations on your massive success. Let's begin. So today we'll be talking to Ayushman. He recently got placed into L&T Technological Services. So we'll be discussing with him about how he prepared, he strategized, and he motivated himself to get such a good core placement. So hi Ayushman. Firstly, congratulations, and could you please give a brief introduction about yourself?
Now, to give a brief introduction about myself, I am Ayushman. I am a Triple E student who was attending the campus recruitment drive that is conducted by my college this year. So, and I was lucky enough to get placed in a core company that is L&T Technology Services. So, in this video, I will basically be telling you my experience of this entire recruitment procedure, and I will also be giving any people who are interested in joining a core company some tips on what things that you need to focus on so that you are also able to join the company that you desire.
People are generally scared about how they will get placed when they are from other branches other than computer science and information technology. So, could you please give us a brief introduction about how the interview procedure works and how the CGPA shortlistings or the other segregation methods in the interview help the students like overcome it with lot of pressure and everything else?
Coming to the interview, as I said earlier, the interviewer will not focus on your department or your branch. Rather than that, they will actually be more interested in what your projects are and what where your interest lies. So, like in my case, I am from triple E background, so it was not necessary for me to have an in-depth knowledge about power systems or any machines such as motors or generators. So my interest lied elsewhere. So what happened was, even in my interview, the interviewer basically asked me what are your interests and what are your projects that you have done. So based on that, they will go more in depth into what your interests are, and they will be basically looking at your resume and asking questions from that. So I would suggest you concentrate on building a resume and include as many projects as you can that you have an interest in and that you have a proper understanding of, because they will be focusing more on what you have done on the project side rather than which background you come from.
When you told us about how the thousands of students were competing, and then you had to compete amongst 2,000 students who qualified the CGPA listings, then also the HR round, the logical reasoning round, the behavioral round, then the technical coding round, technical and the coding round. So, can you tell how does the CGPA matter when it comes to company shortlistings for a student to get a placement in the core companies?
Okay, so coming to the question, does CGPA matter for a core company? I would say that it does not matter if it is a core company or an IT company. CGPA is actually a very important criteria. Uh, any company that comes for placements will have a CGPA cutoff in the first round. So if you have a CGPA which is like higher than 9, then you don't need to worry about anything. You will be sitting for all of the companies that come. Other companies usually set a certain cutoff of like 8.5 or 8. So I would definitely suggest that if you want to sit for as many companies as you can, you should try and maintain a high enough CGPA, and as high as you can be. And for that, you just need to perform well in your initial years of study, because at that time you will be slightly more free and you will be able to focus more on your college academics rather than other projects that you're working on. So CGPA is, yeah, definitely important.
Thank you, Ayushman. You're definitely emphasizing a lot on how we should be concentrating more on the early stages of engineering, like the first, second, third year, when we don't have a lot of like internship related activities or the placement related pressure. You're definitely stressing more on the projects that we should be focusing more on them so that the companies will definitely get a good start with us. Can you also tell us like how the number of companies that come and how does the selection rate vary from different branches or to like how to various companies?
So the number of core companies visiting for placements is slightly lesser than the number of IT or software companies that come to visit the colleges. Especially this year due to the pandemic, a number of companies that used to come for placements were startups, and in this situation, these startups have been hit pretty hard. So right now they are not in a position to basically recruit new people. So as compared to previous years, the number of core companies visiting has slightly gone down, but it is not like no companies will be visiting. There are a lot of companies that are still visiting, and however the number will be obviously slightly lesser than the IT or software companies that are visiting.
Definitely, the pandemic has affected the placement season. When we conducted a short survey of the questions to be asked to the people who got placed into the core companies, we found a question that was repeatedly asked, and that was how much coding is required for getting placed into a core company. Like, Ayushman, could you please elaborate on your view on this point?
Okay, so a lot of people have the question like if a coding background is required for recruitment in a core company. So I would say that it is not actually required for you to have any knowledge about coding, but it is definitely a skill that if you have, you will be actually presented with a wider variety of jobs that you might be able to take up. Like even in a core field, like there are a lot of jobs pertaining to embedded system design which do require you to have certain level of understanding of code so that you are able to perform so that you are able to program these systems to perform their specific tasks. So it is not necessary because obviously in a core field there are a lot of jobs that are purely hardware or technical based, but if you do have understanding of coding, then you can basically get a slightly more number of choices of the jobs that you are actually allowed to take.
Definitely, Ayushman. Coding does seem as a mandatory skill for increasing our reach to the company. One question that might interest our viewers is how the questions appear in the exams, like the coding and the technical rounds that you suggested. Like, are they academic related or they are practical based? Like, is there something that they are taught in the same way that they are taught in the colleges, or they are like something that you have to learn, like you have to perceive from the projects that you make?
Okay, so the overall recruitment procedure was of 3 rounds. The first was the written round, the second was the technical interview, and the third round was the HR interview. So around 2000 people were shortlisted for the written round, which was the first round. So there was some CGPA cutoff, but I don't think it was too high because as I said, there were around 2000 or more than 2000 who were shortlisted for this written examination. So in this written examination itself, there were three different parts. The first part was actually dependent on your branch. So CSE people had a different code, Triple E people had a different code, ECE people had a different code, and mechanical people had a different code. So each of these codes you needed to enter at the portal, examination portal, and a different question paper would basically open for each of these branches. So in my case, since I am from Triple E, there were around 20 technical questions that appeared. These questions were basically from basic circuit analysis and certain machines such as the motor generator questions. So these questions are basically the overall fundamentals of what you have learned in your entire college life. So they are not very difficult. So they are just basics that you need to just brush upon in order to clear this round. So after this technical questions, there was a coding round which consisted of two codes. The first code was pretty easy, but the second code was slightly more difficult. They were basically not extremely difficult codes. So anyone who has like basic understanding of coding will be able to clear them easily. They also provided options such as Java, C, and Python for like basically you could choose the language in which you needed to write the code. After this coding round, there was the third round, which consisted of the verbal and logical reasoning questions. These included finding patterns and English questions such as synonyms, antonyms, and also there was a behavioral questions round where you were asked questions such as how well do you work within a team, or would you rather be a team leader, or would you rather work under someone. So basically these questions were there to test on how what kind of work suits you best, like do you work better in a team, or do you work better as a leader. So they just required honest answers from in this type of questions. So these were the three rounds for the written test. After I cleared the written round, I was called for the technical interview. So the technical interview was of around half an hour, and in the interview, the person basically asked me questions from what field of interests I had and what were the projects that I had done. So they did not focus a lot on what department or which branch I came from. Rather, they were focused more on what was my interest and what kind of projects I had done. So after clearing this round, there was the HR interview, which was of only 10 minutes. This was just like a formality round, where they just told us about the company policies and how we had to like sign a 2-year contract with them, and basically they told us about the CTC that they were going to provide us with, and yeah. So these were the three rounds that I had to take basically.
Knowledge is of no value unless you put it into proper action or use, is very well implemented by the company placements. It gives our viewers immense pleasure in knowing how the practical concepts are valued more than the theoretical concepts that we learn in the colleges. One thing was that everyone questioned was what kind of projects should we be concerned with doing. You have emphasized a lot on doing projects that would help build our resume and get us a good company placement. So can you please suggest what kind of projects do you suggest? What kind of projects should we be going on with?
Projects that need to be done, I would suggest that you just select any topic that interests you, and you should try and conduct your own research into that topic as much as you can, till you gain a proper understanding of what that topic is. Once you're done with your research, you can try and build on that by actually making a project. Or one way to do that would be to join any technical club or team that your college might have. Every college, I believe, has a number of clubs, such as a robotics club, or a club that builds drones, or certain formula student teams. So like in my case, when I joined the college, I wanted to join in the CSE stream, but I could not get in, so I had to take triple E. Now, once I was in triple E, I decided, okay, that I now need to focus on this department and try to undertake some project that will help me enhance my knowledge in this field. So I joined a formula student team, and that was in my case. So basically, you just need to focus on what interests you, any topic, and then you can do your own research. You don't need to join, it is not necessary for you to join a team or any other club. But what advantage that they have is that once you are able to join these clubs, you will be working in a team environment where you will basically get uh, get to know the importance of teamwork and meeting deadlines. So this will help you a lot, because when you actually are getting placed, for example, in like a startup company, they also have a very similar like timeline, because they will understand the importance of teamwork and meeting deadlines. So if you have worked in a similar environment from before, you will have a certain understanding of that, and they will be able to appreciate that even further. but it is again not necessary for you to do this. You just need to pick up a topic that interests you. You can continue to do your own research, because in the end, in the interview, what will matter is that whatever you are speaking as your interest, you should have a proper understanding and knowledge about that particular topic, and it is not necessary for you to be a part of any club or team. So yeah, that is how I would go about undertaking any projects.
Well, thank you, Ayushman. Since you've answered majority of the questions that were on a loop for our survey, I'm pretty sure our viewers would be excited to actually know the about the interview. And since you have shared your success tips with them, I'm pretty sure that they can crack their interviews too, and they can start preparing on it with the same enthusiasm that you have. Is there any other important points that you would like to share so that they can nail the interview the same way that you did?
Okay, so yeah, finally, I would just like to say that the overall placement procedure is very long. It is definitely not necessary for you to get placed the first company that you apply for. You are bound to face failures, and what is most important here is to not let all these negative emotions affect you in any way, because like even in my case, I was giving I was attending placements at a time where core companies were not coming. So initially there were a few companies like Texas Instruments that did come, and I was not able to get into them. So I was feeling very frustrated, and like I could also see like a lot of my friends were getting placed. So I would always think like, okay, why am I not getting placed? So what is important here is to not let all of this negative emotion affect you, because it will be detrimental to your growth and you will not be able to focus on anything. So it is just important to let things run, because they are not under your control. What is under your control is just to keep a cool head and keep revising whatever projects and whatever knowledge that you have, because uh, in the end you will get placed. You just need to have a cool and calm head, and basically know where your interest lies. So that is all I would like to say. All the best for all of your upcoming exams and interviews, and thank you.
To conclude this video, I'd like to quote it with winner is a dreamer who never gives up. It's always said that if you can dream it, you can do it. So, lastly, I would like to congratulate Ayushman again on his massive success. And I would like to say best of luck to all the other Ayushmans who have been preparing for their interviews. Hope we have been of some motivation. Hope we have provided you some kind of motivation in your success story. So stay tuned and keep watching Doubt Horizon.